Do you ever feel like a fraud, doubting your achievements and fearing that others will discover your incompetence? Impostor syndrome is a pervasive feeling of self-doubt and inadequacy, especially in areas where we're actually competent and accomplished. It's that nagging feeling that we just don't deserve our successes and have somehow fooled everyone around us into thinking we're more capable than we really are, and that it's only a matter of time before we're exposed as imposters. So let's look at some characteristics of imposter syndrome and what we can do to stop feeling like such a fraud. Imposter syndrome is often associated with low self-esteem and can lead to depression, chronic stress, and anxiety. The constant fear of being exposed as a fraud can prevent us from taking risks, pursuing new opportunities, or enjoying our achievements. We might overwork ourselves in an attempt to prove our worth, which can lead to burnout. Imposter syndrome can involve persistent self-doubt, feeling uncertain about our abilities, and constantly questioning whether we're deserving of our accomplishments. We can be overachievers and perfectionists, setting extremely high standards for ourselves and being overly critical of our own work. And the more we achieve, the higher the stakes feel. The higher we set our standards, and the stronger our imposter syndrome becomes. And we might discount or minimize our accomplishments, attributing them to luck, timing, or other external factors, rather than recognizing our own competence and hard work. And we can engage in relentless comparisons to our peers or colleagues, feeling inferior and inadequate, even when evidence suggests otherwise. And we can constantly seek reassurance and validation from others to relieve feelings of self-doubt and validate our abilities. So what can we do about imposter syndrome? We can start by acknowledging our successes in an achievement log, where we keep a record of our accomplishments, big and small. I finished this project ahead of schedule, allowing extra time for revisions and client input. This led to positive feedback from the client and recognition from my team. I completed a challenging assignment. I got an extension for my research paper, but finished it by the original deadline despite the complexity. And my prof praised my critical thinking. I taught myself how to use Photoshop and Illustrator, and applied these skills to making scuffed animated videos on YouTube. An achievement log helps us recognize that we deserve our accomplishments, which builds self-confidence and reduces self-doubt. And it gives us evidence that helps us challenge our imposter syndrome and start believing in our capabilities, because now we have the receipts to back it up. Now, with imposter syndrome, we often get caught in a cycle of negative thoughts and beliefs. So we want to challenge these thoughts and beliefs and reframe them, and come up with more balanced and constructive ways of looking at things. If we think, I'm not good enough, maybe we can reframe this to something like, I'm not as good as I'd like to be, but I've had my share of success and accomplishments. Now, this new way of looking at things needs to be accurate, and it's important that we actually believe it. And so another benefit of keeping an achievement log is that it gives us evidence to support new ways of looking at things. If we believe I'm not as competent as people think, we can try to modify this to something like, I've received positive feedback that goes against what I think of myself and shows I am more competent than I think. It even says so right here in my achievement log. And instead of, I'm going to fail and everyone will know I'm a fraud. I felt this way in the past and things have still worked out. And even if I face challenges, it doesn't mean I'm a fraud. Reframing doesn't mean ignoring reality and just making things up to help ourselves feel better. It's about seeing things from a different perspective that's less negative and often more accurate, while also being something we can actually believe. And this is where referring to our achievement logs can really help us out a lot. And you'll find a number of videos with strategies for reframing thoughts in the playlist in the description. Impostor syndrome can be related to perfectionism and setting unattainably high standards for ourselves. Embracing more reasonable goals and expectations can reduce the pressure we put on ourselves and help us feel like less of an imposter. We can still aim for high standards, but breaking things down into more manageable steps and acknowledging and logging each small achievement along the way can boost our confidence and keep us motivated. And we need to practice self-compassion and be kind to ourselves when we make mistakes or face setbacks. And rather than comparing ourselves to others, reminding ourselves we never really know what's going through someone else's mind. They might be experiencing the same insecurities that we are, and they could even be negatively comparing themselves to us. So we need to understand that imposter syndrome is a common experience, and that many people, including those we respect and admire, have felt the same way. And seeking support can be really helpful. It's important to not be afraid to talk about our feelings with trusted friends, colleagues, or a mentor. Sharing our experiences can provide reassurance and perspective, and help us realize that we're not alone, and that other people go through similar struggles. And as we start using these strategies, we'll usually find our imposter syndrome begins to fade. So please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and let me know what you think in the comments. And check out my free self-help courses at selfhelptunes.com. And if you'd like to support my channel and help me make more videos like this, I really appreciate it, and please check out the donation links in the description.